What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here in the Odd Trapper channel coming to with another edition of Lindy's Leans. Likes, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. This is obviously the MLB show, but NBA was just such a Hulk smash. Jalen Brunson way infinity over. Miles McBride way infinity over. Felt really good to be correct about that one. Precious Achiuwa out of the starting lineup. But hey, you're here to listen to MLB, so I'm probably not going to go on too much about the NBA smash that was that first game of the night. MLB is just kind of getting going. Kind of a lighter card for a 16-game slate. Didn't have a lot of love for a lot of spots. It was just kind of a weird one. So I'm glad that I was pretty light on that. It's kind of going okay here at the moment. Today, we're ratcheting it up. I'm just saying, there's some plays that I really like here. We do have a lock on the card, so let's get ourselves to it and get back on track, Eric. It's time to get on track. You guys can head and check out Odd Chopper and BetMGM and all the great things. And, well, I got my Timberwolves that are about to start here very shortly, so I'm nervous. I'm going to get myself the heck up out of here. Producer Jacob, his Celtics are looking pretty good. We'll talk about them in the NBA locks video as well. You can check that out here on the Odd Chopper channel. Without further ado, Producer Jacob, hi, hello. Let's get to the picks. Kikuchi, the girl is hard to get. Nothing like bringing Music Man to the people here, but Kikuchi, you know how I feel about this guy. I absolutely love him. This is a great spot in terms of ballpark, terrible spot in terms of who he's going to be facing, and as such, well, if this ends up being the case, because it's not official that Kikuchi's answered as the starter, well, it's just difficult for me to pull the trigger against Baltimore here. As I look at Mr. Irvin on the other side, we'll throw this out there. There's also a chance Kyle Bradish. He's listed in one book, so we'll say know the rules of your book. That's probably the most important thing, is that if you have one book that you make most of your bets at, which, again, for me, play 8, 9, 10 different books. That is the way that you really want to go about it. Hey, if you're different pick'em spots, you have multiple different pick'em avenues because the lines are different, the projections are different. So we'll throw it out there. But Kyle Bradish, the other guy who could potentially be here, we're just kind of waiting for a lot more news. And I will say, 2 games potentially on tap. Should have led with that. That was probably the more important part. They get it rained out. Don't end up having that -1.5 here. It gets voided. We go into tomorrow. I think Kikuchi, Irvin end up being in one spot, and then you probably run back. Ends up being Bradish and somebody else there. I don't know who Toronto is going to roll out as the other starter here. So, again, if it ends up being a game 1, game 2 thing, that hasn't been announced yet. We'll find out later tonight, potentially. It'll be well past 11 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. But as such right now, nothing I can really give you other than Baltimore money line if you want to fire something up here. Because, again, this is the first game of the slate. I believe the first pitch is 12:35 Eastern, 9:35 a.m. Pacific. I'll be up. I'm always up early on the Wednesday mornings doing the MLB stuff myself. So if you want to know what I'm going to be betting in that first game, if anything, hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist. We'll be happy to let you know. Going to be betting this one. Let me just tell you, we've got Trevor Rogers. We got Casey Mize. Pretty favorable hitting weather here, too, in this spot. Just wind blowing out. It's like 10, 12 miles per hour. I feel like the wind's been blowing out a lot here of late in Detroit. I'm not sure if that's like a prevailing wind in Comerica in this spot. But, yeah, it's going like center to right. It's 73 degrees. So, yeah, better hitting weather than we've gotten other spots around the entire major leagues. But Trevor Rogers, Casey Mize, these are not good pitchers. These are guys that are not up to par. And Miami bullpen, terrible. Detroit bullpen, not going to be good long-term. So Trevor Rogers, 48% hard hit. Casey Mize, 46% hard hit. I get that these aren't the best 2 offenses that God ever put on this earth, but I got to be firing it over considering I get a key number 8. It's inside of -110. Easy way to start the card off, let me tell you. It's so funny how starting pitching does so much to dictate what I end up doing in different spots, because obviously the lineups and obviously handedness, that's going to be something that matters big time too, but game environments change, places change. But Robert Gasser here on the mound, we'll say only 1 start now in the big leagues, so there's not a whole lot to mine out of him. Unheralded rookie, 24-year-old from 2021 draft class. Again, just nothing too special about the repertoire. Did go 6 innings, only 2 hits. 4 strikeouts, really great debut. You can't ask for a better debut than that, but you go to his AAA numbers, like a 1.50 whip. This is not necessarily like a guy who's up to snuff, and obviously Milwaukee, they're trying to find other guys because this lineup has been better. But with that said, Rhys Hoskins, now on the 10-day IL. That's a huge downgrade when you're talking about a lefty on the mound here in Martin Perez. And I tell you, Martin Perez, friends, this is definitely a spot that you want to be targeting him. We're talking about a 47% hard hit, 296 expected batting average, 469, but we're not going to target him. We're going to do the exact opposite because Pittsburgh, friends, is better against some of these lefties than you might expect. And wouldn't you know it, Robert Gasser, well, he's a lefty. Have you looked at the numbers for Pittsburgh against lefties? It's so weird because I don't even like their right-handed lineup, but 24.7% K rate, that's high. But a 111 WRC plus, again, this is like feast and famine and lots of things you can be looking at, but it all comes down to price at the end. If you let me flip coins at plus 120, I will do it all day and twice on Wednesday. Or I guess I just get it once on Wednesday. Otherwise, if it was twice, it would be a lock at a half unit. But anyway, half unit, Pittsburgh money line, talking in circles a little bit, but I think you got the point. I've got 3 of these in the card today. 3 of them because I have absolutely no idea what the flying F I'm supposed to do here. Patrick Corbin, Garrett Crochet. Everything in my model tells me you should be betting the White Sox here in this spot. And I got to tell you, there's nothing I would rather do less than bet on a White Sox baseball team against anybody, especially lefties. 52 WRC plus against left-handed pitching with a 27.8% K rate is the worst numbers in baseball in both accounts. Patrick Corbin, though, is about as bad as a starter can get in baseball. I think we know that by now, breaking him down multiple times here in Washington bullpen, not something you want to deal with. I got to wait. I got to sit here and wait. Again, plus 142, maybe we get a little bit better here, or a little bit better there, or a little bit better here, or a little bit better there. But money line and 1.5. I'm paying attention to both of them because if anything shows up here on the White Sox side, I do want to attack him because Crochet, he's got the strikeout stuff. He's been good this season. We know that. We took that K ladder up to K-Town with him. Surely I'll have. I want Korean barbecue now. That's delicious. So is this. We've got an under here. We're going under. We got Andrew Abbott, Brandon Pfaadt here at this point in time. Pretty decent pitching spot for both of them. And I will say Cincinnati, kind of weird in terms of what we've got for some of these lefties. Jake Fraley, like a 20.3% hard hit. You got Jonathan India, sub 31% here. Santiago Espinal. Santiago, Wales. I don't know. Just a weird Cincinnati lineup here every time I look at it. And Will Benson striking out the highest clip of anybody in baseball, 40.5% K rate. He's happy Joey Gallo is on the IL because he doesn't qualify as such. Anywho, Arizona on the other side, they get Brandon Pfaadt though, so you know, he's good. 295 XWO, but 37% hard hit. And Andrew Abbott's just flat out freaking good. 207 expected batting average, 274 XWO, but and the key part, he's a lefty. You get up against Arizona here as a lefty, you're going to be bound to do okay here in some of these spots. Now, this is a disaster matchup. I mean, they're the best in baseball against lefties, but I do think the strikeout stuff that he has in the pedigree is going to overcome all of that. Yes, Corbin Carroll even left on left crime. It's an afternoon game. Roof should be closed there in Arizona. I feel as though under 8.5 is pretty clear cut considering Pfaadt. If you want to try to protect yourself to some extent, I think Arizona's really the only one who's going to do any kind of damage here in a high volatility game. Maybe you get something on the Arizona side, but at minus 142, I won't. Keep me with the under 8.5. And keeping here at Odd Shopper 2 friends, OS Premium Tools, Discord, Insider Access. If you want my betting card, I'm going to be here Wednesday all the live long day. I am in my chair from like 6:30 a.m. until 9 p.m. That might be exaggerating it a little bit. 8:30 p.m. usually. I'm sitting here watching games, kicking it, putting in that work, Devin. Don't give up. Another one. I love that commercial. Anywho, if you use promo code Lindy, you can get it for 20% off for that first week or first month. That turns 15, that $14.95 number, into $12. Friends, you want to be checking it out. You need to be checking it out. Really good stuff over here at Odd Shopper. Sign up in the video description box below and promo code Lindy, 20% off. Back to the picks we go. Oh boy, Michael King, I would love to back you, but minus 250, that's a spicy meatball, but minus 120, that's a little bit more fascinating to me. You get Colorado outside of Coors Field, and every single time I look at the numbers that they have against some of these righties, and I just laugh. I laugh. Because at 26.7% K rate and a 79 WRC plus that is tied for second worst in baseball, that is not run creation. And I like Michael King. I think this is a really good arm. I like the bullpen switch over for him. I don't know if he asked for that or if the Yankees asked for that back in the day. But obviously San Diego is going to benefit from it long-term if it ends up working out. And so far, I think so good. 25.6% K rate. The walk's a little high, 11.4%. We've got a 432 expected slugging, 9% barrel percentage, four-seamer change slider combination. I still like it. I still like the stuff. And enough that I think San Diego in the afternoon down there in Santiago, Wales. Well, we're not going to do it again. It's twice in the same video. It's overkill. I guess I'm overkill as a person. San Diego on the run line. I like it. Kansas City and Seattle, we're going up north, We got Alec Marshall. We got Brian Wu. You know by now. The OGs from last year. We rode this guy to the promised land because the strikeout stuff was so luscious. In that first start, not very good, only 62 pitches. But you know what happens if you only go 70, 75 pitches? Turns into a bullpen situation, and the velocity was right there. Only 0.3 miles per hour down from his 2023 numbers. You look at the off-speed velocity, looks pretty good. Only 0.2 miles per hour down. And then I wanted to just see, where is the spin here in the first outing? Well, wouldn't you know it, it was up 78 RPMs there on that fastball in the first start. So I think the strikeout stuff is going to show up. This is not a great strikeout matchup going up against Kansas City, but I will always bet on talent, and talent I shall bet on. I didn't end up going the money line, though, with that bullpen simply because of this. I think Wu probably good for 4 innings, and you get any of these middle relievers, they'll grade out pretty well for me for Seattle. So I'm pulling the Cincinnati from yesterday. First 5, Seattle. I'm getting a little bit better than that minus 142, and I get to pick on Marsh, and I get at least the first, well, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I get the top of the lineup here twice, guaranteed from the Mariners side. Decent spot to be investing on that first 5. I want to bet something here so bad. Jose Quintana. We got the numbers now. I guess that's decent, but it's just a little bit wide. It's just a little bit wide. At the end of the day, Ranger Suarez has been one of the best starters in baseball. He's a southpaw. He throws it pretty darn good. He's got that dip on the delivery. He's getting strikeouts, 28.1% K rate, 28.2% hard hit. The changeup is nifty. The four-seamer's nifty, and that cutter mixing in really good stuff. Not a great strikeout matchup. Tough spot against, these Mets. I will say it's going to be a weird one, but Jose Quintana, I think this is a spot, friends, where you do want to be attacking him. Just wish the number were a little bit better here. Philly money line, Philly minus 1.5. I put lean like simply because this is on the threshold. This is probably the one of those 3 where I'm going money line minus 1.5 that I like the most. Just got to be paying attention to it here. I do think eventually here in Philly, this is a decent spot to be backing them. Oh, Taj Bradley, Tanner Houck, 2 pitchers that I really, really like. Now, Taj Bradley, it was kind of a weird deal with him getting sent down. I thought Tampa Bay made some mistakes with that, but again, Tampa Bay, one of the most analytically forward franchises in baseball. So I'm not going to question it too much. The strikeout stuff looks good again, though. 29.2% K rate, 46.7% hard hit. You could maybe try to target a Devers. Tyler O'Neill, told you he was going to have a huge year. Feel pretty good about that one so far in this early run. But Tanner Houck on the other side, giving up some hard hit himself, sitting around 45% hard hit. So hard for me to do a whole hell of a lot here other than target those home runs. And I think my favorite of the entire crew is Josh Lowe. Yes, Josh Lowe now moving up in the order, 47.4%, only 19 batted ball events because he was out for a while. He back, friends. That is really going to help this lineup against righties going forward. Javier Assad and Mr. Charlie Morton in this spot. We don't have any Cubs number. Again, it was just Javier Assad that was listed in a couple of these different spots. I had another one that was listed that I didn't think was correct. It was not going to be Hayden Wesneski. I think he's going to be the next day. But anywho, that's beside the point. The point here is that if it's Javier Assad and Charlie Morton, like listed at most books, where these books will then void your tickets if you have the wrong starting pitching combination. Prefer that route, actually, personally. Unless you're able to take advantage and guess correctly. But we're seeing Atlanta. The bats are going to wake up as the summer months progress here. I got to think that Matt Olson, I mean, we just saw him go nuts on Tuesday here. That's going to continue. But do I feel like picking on Assad here? I really don't. I understand that it's not the flashiest name with a 20.5% K rate and such, but he's pretty solid. 35% hard hit. I get worried, though, about the launch angle. And Charlie Morton on the other side has been solid, 33.3%. Will say we saw Nico Horner get scratched on Tuesday. Be paying attention to that lineup. That would definitely be a number that at minus 192 you could dabble with, I suppose, if you were looking to combine it with some parlays. But I'm looking on the run line only here. Give me the plus 120 or better number, and I will jump on Atlanta. That's really it. This is pretty great too, friends. BetMGM, if you haven't signed up there, just check out the video description box below. Go check it out, mainly because you have DraftKings, you have FanDuel, you probably have maybe a Bet365 in your life too. A pretty great advantageous book to have, if I do say so myself, if it's available in your state. But if BetMGM is available in your state, this one has routinely had some of the better lines in terms of the run line anywhere, period, end of story. That's a great opportunity for you to dabble and save 5 cents here, 10 cents there. And over an entire MLB season, that adds up. Why would you go to the bread aisle in the supermarket? Weird analogy, but why would you go buy bread for $4 when you can get it across the aisle for $3.50? I don't understand. You would want to do that every single time. That's basically what betting on your cell phone or at your desktop, that is what it is like. So just get the best line. I don't care where it is. And then if you get $1,500 safety net where your first bet up to $1,500 comes back to you in bonus bets, that's a deal coming along with it. Great opportunity. So sign up at the link below. Only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. Marcus Stroman and Pablo Lopez, 4 kids, and I got to take all of that ass showbiz. He's kind of a crazy person. Anyway, Marcus Stroman, friends, he is on the mound. He's been pitching crazy good for Marcus Stroman, I will. He's kind of regressed back towards the mean, but Minnesota, as weird as it is to say, only a 105 WRC plus against righties, and they obliterate lefties there with a 119 WRC plus. Weird to see a righty here like Stroman that actually profiles better, and looking at the Twins lineup, so it's kind of a weird spot. Thought it was a pretty weird spot. Should have pulled the trigger on the Yankees there on Tuesday, but such is life. Such is life. Pablo Lopez, the best starter that the Twins have coming forward there. That's for sure. 255 xWOBA, 31.6% K rate across the board. Looking spectacular. Probably won't even fire up Juan Soto against him. That should tell you something. But these lefties, Trevor Larnach, Max Kepler, looks like a pretty decent spot for both of them here. Getting better than plus 400 on either of them. Puts them on the card. I think this is kind of a fun tandem deal. If we're looking at the round robins, I know a lot of people in the premium Discord asking for them every day. I think this and our next game are a great combination. Let me explain. We got Cleveland, we got Texas, and, well, you could probably go to the Seager Adolis Garcia side. Again, 2 of the more favored home run hitters that exist there for sure, but I want to actually go towards the 9th inning bump here for the Guardians, and 2 guys that have just been paying my bills of late. Josh Naylor, I couldn't even say his damn name. I apologize. I wasn't really familiar with the game. 551 expected slugging, 41.3% hard hit. Awesome stuff from him. Just high, far contact nonstop. And Jose Ramirez, 18.8 degree average launch angle, only a 35.4% hard hit. But Jose Ramirez, you want to be early to the party against some of these poor righties like a John Gray here. I think all the numbers, spread, run line, money line, I think everything looks pretty efficient here. 8.5, that's about where I'd set it at. Carlos Carrasco, the numbers are going to be so inflated, and I can't imagine we're going to be able to get to Seager or Garcia on that side. So give me attacking John Gray, 16 degree average launch angle, 42% hard hit on the season, 2 lefties, well, switch hitter in Jose Ramirez, but all lefty in Josh Naylor, a switch hitter in Jose Ramirez, both to go yard. Think the round robin combination of those 2 and the previous one, just do doubles times 2. Find another 2 combination and go buy 3s. I think this is a pretty advantageous thing over on FanDuel, where they routinely have the best home run odds on the board. And if you guess the game environment correctly, if you have a starting pitcher who's giving up power, you kind of get 2 cracks at it. So for me, kind of buying into portfolio idea, I'm going to keep working on it, doing some back testing, playing pretty low numbers there, but did have that 5K hit from a week and a half ago. Want to keep that rolling for the people. Am I really going to be firing up Framber Valdez here? No, am I? Yeah, I think I am. It feels ridiculous. It feels wonky. It feels completely upside down. But you know what happens is that when you start to see a pitcher that is really, really at a buy low, you buy in even lower, it would appear. We got on one side for Oakland, this Brooks fellow, Aaron Brooks. He will be making his call-up debut here in AAA Las Vegas so far this season. Not so good. 4.57 ERA, 1.44 whip. Will say, decent strikeout stuff, 32 strikeouts, only 10 walks there in 43 and a third innings. But Aaron Brooks, when you're 34 and you haven't pitched in the bigs yet this season, I can probably tell you you're not so good. Always look out, though. PCL, I bring this up all the time on this program. Haven't in a while, I feel like. But Vegas, Reno, and Albuquerque, like playing baseball on the moon. So some of those numbers can be inflated. Makes it really hard to adjust to them under big league circumstances. But against Houston, we could probably assume if Alex Bregman is going to start hitting like he is, if Jose Altuve can start joining the party, and if Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez can just keep doing what they're doing, specifically Kyle Tucker, he's been way better. I think this is a dangerous little spot, but I'm actually going to look at the Framber Valdez 6+ Ks market. This guy has not had the strikeout stuff here of late, but 18 ground balls to 1 fly ball. He just put together the best outing of his season against Detroit there. Only the 2 earned runs that he gave up there. But you can start getting that ground ball stuff up like that, and you get up to 103 pitches. That was by far his most pitches of the season, 91 in the previous start of it. In his 5 starts, the strikeout stuff hasn't necessarily been there, but if you give me this amount of pitches against Oakland, against anybody, yes, against just about anybody, I got to do it every single time. So 6+, maybe up to 7, K-ladder time on Valdez. Can't believe I said that. And we've reached our lock of the evening, friends. St. Louis, a team that has been on the ropes. They have not been off to a great start, specifically Paul Goldschmidt. And now they're moving Mason Wynn at shortstop up to the leadoff spot. And just a different configuration of a lineup here, trying to find any semblance of a pulse. But wouldn't you know it, we're going to be locking them here in this spot. It is Lance Lynn, who definitely is a power concern every single time he goes up to pitch, up to the mound. I don't know why I was struggling trying to say that. 10.7% barrel percentage, 16.4 degree average launch angle, everything across the board, straight up terrifying in his 8 starts here, 1.41 whip. But overall this season, doing better in the home run department, I would say. He had 5 home runs he gave up in April, but in his 2 starts here against the White Sox and the Brewers, and the Brewers, we know, they have some pretty decent righties up there. Didn't give up a home run in those. He has given up quite a few earned runs here, probably why you're looking at an ERA of, north of 4 there in those spots, or right at, it's 6, there it is. But on the season, still a sub-4 ERA. Not something that I find to be all that indicative. I'm much bigger fan of the expected ERA column. And a 4.21 here against an Angels lineup, missing Mike Trout, missing any semblance of the days of yore with Shohei Ohtani. I think this is an easy back against Griffin Canning. I think St. Louis's lineup is too talented to be held down for too long here. You get Goldschmidt, you get Arenado, and you're getting this at -120? Are you serious? I gotta say, you look at these 2 lineups on the surface. I love Joe Adele. He's been a darling of mine forever. And Taylor Ward and Logan O'Hoppe have been great throughout this entire season as well. But this St. Louis side has way more talent. They get the platoon going up against Mr. Griffin Canning with a number of these bats, whether it's Lowell Snootball, Brendan Donovan, Matt Carpenter can always move himself up in that lineup. And Nolan Gorman eventually will find that power again. Still a 429 expected slugging. So don't go sleeping on them here. Griffin Canning is not good. 16.4% K rate, 352 xWOBA, high far contact. Going to be looking in the home run department on a couple of these pieces when numbers drop. But for now, give me that St. Louis money line every single time at this number. Fire it up. I've got it up to -145 as playable. At -135, -140, you can start pumping the brakes on the unit play. But I expect this to take money. We want to be early to the party. And we go out with a whimper. It's the Dodgers playing the Giants with no idea who it is. Logan Webb gives up tons of hard contact right now. It can be on the ground from time to time. I don't know what to tell you other than Dodgers are the Dodgers, and there's nothing to analyze here. I have nothing for you. Good day, sir. I said good day. Dodgers money line and the run line. Let's get the heck up out of here. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for Wednesday. Let's get this thing back going. We were just flying. We were smashing there for a couple of weeks. And then kind of pump the brakes there Thursday, Friday, into Monday. And hopefully Tuesday can finish out all right here for me. It surely did in the NBA streets. Well, my Timberwolves haven't tipped off. They had all the things in the Knicks indie game, though. That felt good. Anyway, let's get ourselves the heck up out of here. Thank you, producer Jacob. Until Thursday, friends. Smaller slate for sure. Kind of like that. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.